everybody. Becky Brett here. I'm an executive coach for nonprofit leaders. I help them become $1 million fundraisers so that they can focus more on their mission than on the money. I've helped so far over 150 organizations bring in 37 million and counting. And we have impacted 1.3 million lives. What does that look like? That looks like jobs saved and created, programs created and saved. It looks like changing the world one organization at a time. So hello, thank you so much for joining me. We're going to talk about why your board isn't fundraising and what you can do about it, because that is the single biggest comment/complaint that I hear from people reaching out to me for consults. Also, I'm trying something else today. I have my Instagram right over here because that's where I started out doing live streams, and I wanted to include that audience as well. So thank you so much for joining me today. It is Wednesday, April 23rd. And one of the Hawaii things I wanted to mention, also, let me just finish getting my own self kind of set up so I can read my notes at the same time. But one of the Hawaii things I wanted to mention, the Merry Monarch Festival is this week, and it's Merry as in MERRIE. And the Merry Monarch Festival has been going on for 62 years. Pretty sure it's 62 years. That's a long time. If you know me, you know that I used to be the executive director of a festival of a similar age, the Virginia Highlands Festival in Abingdon, Virginia. And when a festival has that kind of longevity, you know it is critical to the community. It's so important. So I love living in a place where there is that kind of long-lived cultural festival. And I wanted to share with you a little bit about why it's so important, because it's a festival of hula dancing, and it's actually one of the biggest, probably the biggest, or most prestigious hula competition. And when you think of hula dance, you might actually be thinking of Tahitian dance, which is like very quick hip movements. Hula is a lot more fluid, and it's essentially storytelling. It's embodied lived history coming down through the generations. And it was banned. It was banned for about 40 years in the mid 1800s because the missionaries and the newly Christianized monarch felt that it was too lascivious to be performed. Like, people can't handle it. So King David Kalakaua brought it back, and he sorry, now I'm like moving stuff around on my screen. Brought it back in the late 1800s. And so the festival, when it began, was begun in his name, in his honor, because he was known as the Merry Monarch. He brought back a lot of Hawaiian cultural traditions, and it is probably thanks in part to him re-legitimizing these traditions, but also completely thanks to the individuals who perpetuated the traditions, regardless of either societal pressures at the time or regardless of what the law said. Families still practiced in private. And that is something that I think we, as a nation in the United States, could really learn from right now, because we are definitely going through our own cultural upheaval right now. So just because someone says you can't show up as yourself doesn't mean you have to stop being yourself. So that's my little Hawaii inspired lesson for the day. I am no expert on Hawaii history. I just happen to live here. And I just realized that yesterday was my 3-year Hawaii-versary. So, yay, I am for sure staying. they say that after it takes 2 years to decide, I guess, if the island is accepting you, and or if you're gonna stay. People figure it out usually within the first 2 years. And oh man, I am so certain I am in the right place right now. It feels amazing. So that's that about Hawaii. Hello to those watching on Instagram. I just want to glance over and say a quick howdy to you. Thank you so much for watching. All right, so let's get into fundraising and your board, because oh my gosh, if I had a nickel, well, I'd rather not have a nickel. We have inflation, right? So if I had $5 for every time someone said my board's not fundraising, why isn't my board fundraising? If you've been watching me for the past couple of months, you will know that my opinion of this is that it's not your board's job to fundraise. I know that's a bit controversial, but it's really not. It's your job as a professional to make the ask. Now, your board should be supporting your efforts at fundraising. How do they do this? They do this by helping you build relationships, like connecting you with the people in their network, and by advocating on behalf of your organization. And there are so many reasons why boards are not doing that. But I'm just going to talk about one today. And that one reason is that there is confusion around their role, and they don't have, or there's confusion about like what tools that they have at their disposal to be able to do this. When you don't have the right tools, it's a lot harder to build something. I mean, just to belabor the metaphor a little bit, you're not going to build a house with a flamethrower, for example. You need something more constructive, like a hammer or a nail gun, or a screwdriver. So you want to make sure, your job is to make sure that your board has the right tools that they need in order to advocate for you. And I have a few of these written down because there are so many that you could use, but I have identified the top, let's say 4. I like that number. I've identified the top 4 that will that can most quickly and effectively help your board. So the first one, and this is probably not what you expect it to be, but the first one I'm going to mention is a board fundraising expectations checklist. And this starts when you onboard your board member into your organization. So first of all, are you onboarding your board members, or are you just saying, hey, you're on the board, come to a meeting? So let's start by being very clear about what the fundraising expectation is. So when it comes to the onboarding process, I like to say clarity is kindness, and I am kind, and so are you. So be very clear about what the expectation is. So do you, is it expected that every board member contribute a certain amount? Do you have board dues? I know a lot of boards have dues that every board member pays, and those funds generally go into the cost of holding board meetings, because there is a cost to it. Whether you have them on Zoom or in person, those funds that are paid by board dues can go into the cost of holding a board meeting. So is there the expectation that the board member themselves contribute to the organization? Now, I will say also, there should be an expectation of a contribution, whether it's in the triple digits or 5 digits, whatever, however many digits you have. You do want 100% of your board giving to the organization, because that shows that they are committed. And that's something that all funders like to see, 100% board participation in giving. And it really doesn't matter how much. They just want to see that everyone is putting their money where their mouth is. So Okay, is there the expectation of board giving? And then when in the onboarding process, in their board packet, or however you want to offer this to them, make sure there's a clear one-page document that outlines specific fundraising actions that they're all expected to take. And this could be as simple as introduce the executive director to one person who might be interested in the organization. Like, you don't even have to put a whole lot of pressure on it, but it does need to be clear. I find that a lot of nonprofit leaders and perhaps and board chairs, not just executive directors, but also board chairs, they get a little timid when it comes to stating their expectations of the board when someone joins. And that's not helpful. It's not kind. And it leaves your board member confused about whether or not they're doing a good job for you. So just be clear. Know what your expectation is and clearly communicate it. And there's a lot of internal work that goes with that. So if that's feeling a little scary for you, reach out to me, comment, I'm scared. If this is feeling scary to you, and we can schedule a quick consult to talk about it. Okay, so be clear about your expectations, and then also include like a one sheet information or talking points about your organization. Actually, I'm going to get to that later. But okay, so basically a board fundraising expectations checklist. And that checklist should include things like what board giving is and introducing like building relationships. You want them to build relationships and you want them to advocate for your organization. So on your fundraising expectations checklist, make sure those 3 things are on there. Next is a quick wins dashboard, or any kind of a dashboard that makes sense. I have heard so many board members tell me that the financial reporting is confusing to them at board meetings. And it's not because they're stupid, because they're not. Your board members are really smart. That's why they're on your board. But perhaps you are not communicating relevant information, or you're communicating numbers without context. And so make sure that your monthly dashboard shows like recent achievements, year-over-year growth or decline, which is fine. If there's a decline, just know why it's there. Program impact numbers. That is so important. Your board needs to know how many people you're serving, or what your impact is, whatever it is you're measuring. Make sure they know where you stand in relation to that every single month. And then if you can include some kind of a story, a success story from that month, that will help too. And that leads me to my next tip. So first we've had the expectations checklist when you're onboarding, your quick wins dashboard, or your monthly dashboard. And then there is the impact story bank. You want to have an impact story bank. And this is something that will help everybody in your organization. This will help your marketing, your PR team. This will help all of your grant writers, all of your fundraising team. It will help your board, because one of their jobs is to advocate for your organization. So they can do that better when they know what the hell you're doing and what a great job you're doing at it. So start to build your, oh my gosh, there's like, you just saw me have such a Hawaii moment. A giant mosquito just flew in and right at me. That was awesome. No blooper reels on a live stream, my friends. No blooper reels. It's all here. I feel like I need a sip of coffee now. Oh my God, that was so funny. I kind of saw it out of this corner of my eye, like it was on my wall. And then it just right in front of me, and I just had to deal with it. Life in the tropics. Okay. Anywho, Impact Story Bank. Back at it. So this, if you are in business, you probably know this as like testimonials. But in nonprofit and other mission-driven businesses, if you are any kind of a social enterprise, you'll want to have a story, even just a Google Doc or a Google folder with stories, your success stories, and these should be simple, shareable. So if you can put them on a PDF, that's great. And these should tell the story of the impact that your organization has had on the people who you serve or the animals you serve. What are the environment that you serve, whatever you serve, you'll want 3 to 5 success stories, and they should be brief enough for board members to memorize. And these will help them feel confident in talking about your organization. So, so for example, one of the stories that we told over and over again at the Highlands Festival was how one of our performing arts offerings happened to involve a young man who was in the foster system and was about to be adopted. And his first experience with live theater was at our festival. So that was pretty special. And we told that story over and over again as a point of inspiration. So who do you serve? How have you served them well? And then what was the outcome? And then when it comes to your board members memorizing them, I mean, they don't have to memorize it, but you do want to keep it short and sweet. So like for us, it was like, our performing arts serves the whole community. We even had one young man who is going through a particularly tough time in the foster system, have his first live theater experience with us. So those kinds of things. And then number 4, okay, so that was number 3. Build your story bank and build it now because you're going to want that. Scripts and templates is number 4. So a tool that can help clarify for your board is just to give them a script. So for example, I have created with my team, I say it was not just me. I now have a team. Shout out my team, my VA team. And so we have created some thank you call scripts, because last week I talked about just starting your board out nice and easy, making thank you calls to donors. And we've created some thank you call scripts to make it even easier and more clear for you and your board members. So if you would like those scripts, then just email me, becky@beckybrett.com, or comment below. Not sure how to translate your comment into actually sending you something, but we will figure it out. So yeah, a script is really, really helpful. Templates for communications. So if you have email templates, and this is where AI is your friend, absolutely. Like, we're all working with limited resources. So if you can save time and keep your team focused on mission fulfillment rather than creating an email template or a thank you or like any kind of a call script, allow AI to do that heavy lifting for you so that you can get back to your mission and serving the people who you serve. So scripts and templates are number 4. So these 4 things will help you close the confidence gap, because look, even seasoned professionals need the right tools. And this will help your board members to help you with your fundraising. Something I've learned and have really been leaning into for the past year is that success comes from systems and not just from natural talent. Like, you need talent, yes, but the real success is going to come from the systems that back you up. So the more of those you have in place and share them with your board members, the easier it is for them to advocate for you and to help build those relationships that will turn into dollars and also turn into impact for your organization. All right. So if this was at all helpful, please like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell so that you know when I go live again, which will be most likely next Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time, which is 2:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And if you want to work with me, I have 3 clients who are wrapping up over the next like 2 to 4 weeks. So I will have some room opening up in my schedule for 3 more clients. If you're interested in working with me, then just email Becky@beckybrett.com, or I know that there will be a link in the description box where you can book a funding focus consult with me. That is a free almost hour of my time, which is normally worth $450. And I give that to you for free, give you some actionable steps that you can take to stabilize your increase and stabilize your revenue stream so you can get back to doing the important work that you're doing. All right. Well, cheers to you. I know you woke up sexy as hell again today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next week. Ahui ho.